Create Art Podcast. Project National Poetry Writing Month 2022. Hello, friends. This is Timothy Chemo Bryan, your head instigator for Create Art Podcast, where I use my 20 plus years of experience in the arts and education to help you tame your inner critic and create more than you consume. This month is National Poetry Writing Month, and this is the third year in a row that I am going to be doing NaPoWriMo, as it's known. Now, what's this all about? Well, it's actually something that started up a long time ago, about 2003. And it was done by Maureen Thorson. She's a poet that was living in Washington, D.C., and it was inspired by National Novel Writing Month. And what she did is she posted her poems on her blog, and other people started, writing poems in April and hosting them on their own blog. Now, Maureen linked to them, and after a few years, there's so many people doing NaPoWriMo that Maureen decided to launch an independent website for the project. Now, as far as me, I've started writing poetry back in 1988 when I was exposed to T.S. Eliot in my honors English class in high school. Started reading poetry to the public in 1992 while I was in Abilene, Texas at Espresso Europa coffee shop. I put out my own books of poetry, starting way back in 2007 with Throwing Myself at the Ground and Missing. And then 2008, Postcards from Somebody You Don't Know. And then 2010, Wisdom from the Sack, where I did the National Poetry Writing Month. I did 60 poems in 30 days and put out a book for that. And then the latest one, 2017, Shaving Crop Circles in My Chest Hair. Again, that was a response to doing a Word of the Day challenge. Now, like I said, in 2009, I started participating in it, and I've been a huge proponent for it. This is my third year doing it on the show, so I hope you enjoy. All right, we are on April 29th. That is the 29th day of April in our 29th prompt. Yes! In certain versions of the classic fairy tale Sleeping Beauty, various fairies or witches are invited to a princess's christening and bring her gifts. One fairy or witch, however, is not invited, and in revenge for the insult lays a curse on the princess. Today, the challenge is to write a poem in which you muse on the gifts you've received at birth, whether they're actual presents like a teddy bear or talents like a good singing voice or circumstances like a kind older brother, as well as a curse you've lived with your grandparents' insistence on giving you a new and completely creepy porcelain doll for every birthday, or a bad singing voice. The hope is that you find it to be an inspiring avenue for poetic and self-exploration. And this one's entitled, He Must Be Born With It. Must be Maybelline. Here we go. As I stand in the back of the room, fiending for another smoke, I feel every emotion coming from the poets. Some of them are younger than my socks. Others share their experiences that I have no reference to. Yet I come back week after week, like they say to do in the meetings, where we just share our first names. I've always been able to empathize with most anyone, so much so I take on their struggle without being asked or wanted. Because I've felt since day one that I have to be the sacrificial lamb, fending for myself, with parents who would rather drink than take care of their children. I stand outside, alone, flicking ashes to the ground, field stripping the butts, and the young poets come up to me, ask how they did, asking if I heard their latest piece, quizzing me on their content. giving them the wisdom that has been bestowed on me through years of searching, and I pass along to them the torch, freshly lit with their energy and inquisitiveness, praying they have a better life than what I was given. Knowing the predators that lurk just around the corner, I try to protect them and provide them with an example of what I have done that works and what I haven't done that doesn't. This is all I can give the next generation, the benefit of my experience. It's a precious gift that I wish I had been given, or that I would have been open enough to receive. My spirit will be following up after I release these earthly bonds. I expect to see a better world than what was left to me. I want to thank you for tuning into this special episode of Create Art Podcast, National Poetry Writing Month for 2022. I look forward to seeing the comments that you can put on the website and let me know what you think of the poetry. And I want to know if you're writing poetry. Drop me a few lines. Let me take a look at it. I'd be happy to help you self-publish your book or give you advice or good context that I personally have to get your poetry out there. Reach out to me, Timothy, at createartpodcast.com, and let me help you tame your inner critic and create more than you consume. Let me know if you'd like to be on the show or talk about any of the topics that we do present for you here. Until next time, go out there and create art for somebody you love, yourself.